Good evening, teammates. Hope you're doing great. Hey, just wanted to welcome you to another version of talking about really product knowledge, product insight, really how to distribute some of the products that we have in the business. These next products that I'm really talking about is really what I call the big four, the primary legal protection program, the auto insurance program, the homeowners insurance, and then also debt watchers. So essentially in the state of Maryland, you basically don't need a license to distribute or market these products and services. You do have to get debt certified, debt watcher certified. So you do have to go to, on the Primerica online portal under POL New Rep Home, and you have to actually pull down debt watcher certification to actually get certified. But the other products, as I mentioned, auto insurance and homeowners insurance, primary legal plan, you basically are able to market those products right away. So this is not necessarily, I'm not going to go in depth. I know Primerica Online does have another portal or another video really kind of talking about marketing of these. I just really want to kind of tailor them specifically how they would be marketed in our office and how we utilize them. The products, are essentially what they are. They're helping families. We do a great job. I think what we do for the client is really impactful. But more importantly, you want to base every product, every decision that you deal with in terms of recruiting. I think that's probably one of the greatest products that you have is recruiting, because none of these get distributed unless certainly if you can build a team, if you can really get a lot of people excited about marketing these products, you'll make money in so many ways in this business. And so I'm going to really kind of talk to you about these areas in terms of really how they could be utilized. So just on the first one, auto and homeowners insurance, it's really, really simple. Just to give you a brochure, you can go on Primerica Online. There's a auto and homeowners brochure. And basically, these brochures are like 10 cents. So really, on the back of the brochure, it has the 800 number where they can call in. And then it has also the boxes for where you can write your solution number in. So this, how to market auto and home, if I'm just getting started, I'm really distributing a top 25 name list or top 50 name list. I'm not going to go through my market trying to sell people auto and homeowners insurance. And there's a reason why, because if I go through, we know that the numbers pretty much suggest that 4 out of 10 cases are closed. So we know 4 in 10 is about a 40% probability margin that you have as far as closing this business. Not bad, but not everyone. So if I went through my market and just tried to market this to everybody, and let's just say those numbers worked out to be where they are, well, that means 60% probably could have benefited from some other areas. They could have been a life client, they could have been an investment client, possibly a recruit. If you just really market auto and homeowners and you leave everything else on the table, not a good thing. So how I kind of market these products, let me just kind of give you a little bit of information, and then I'll kind of talk to you a little bit about that. But you do want to know the number. You want to lock the number in your phone. It's 1-877-855-8111. So essentially, this is Primerica Secure Answer Financial. That's their name. You call them. They're usually open till midnight, Monday through Sunday. You can call in, and basically you want to have the client on the line. You want to do a 3-way phone conference so you can have the client on the line and basically talk about really how to distribute these. And it's really simple. Once the client's on the line, you'll talk to a licensed agent. So you need to look on POL to find out the states that it's marketed in where you don't need a license. For example, you do not need a license in the state of Maryland. You do need a license in Virginia, but DC, you don't need a license as well. So there's certain what they call hot states where you're able to market it, and then there's other states where you do need to have the licensure certification. So 1-877-855-8111 is really simple. You talk about there's about 30 different companies that we work with. So there's there's MetLife, there's 21st Century, Safeco, Hartford, Progressive. There's nothing bootleg. They're very competing companies. These are companies that people are quite familiar with. So you call into that line and essentially they'll be able to help. Now, usually if I'm going to market auto and home, it's going to be the last phone call that I'm going to make or have the client make as I begin to depart their home. So if I'm in a home and I'm seeing a client and I'm kind of wrapping up, maybe we've helped them invest, maybe we recruited them onto the team, we did an F&A, what have you. This is going to be the last conversation I'm going to have. I'm going to say, hey, look, remember we talked a little bit earlier about, getting auto and homeowners insurance quote. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them for their phone, and I'm going to dial this number. I'm going to write my solution number on there, and I'm going to have the client converse with the agent on the other end to conduct the phone call. I'm not going to sit there and wait for them, because that phone call it can be as little as 10 minutes or it can be as long as an hour. So just imagine if I did it in the beginning and I sat with somebody and man, we're on an hour, we ate up all our time and maybe it didn't work out for them. So that's why we want to do it on the back end, leaving out, and I can call the client back and find out whether or not it was beneficial. So they're going to compare apples to apples. They're going to compare their same limits of liability, their same deductibles to anything that we have to offer. And we're going to basically shop about 30 companies. And like I said, within 10 minutes to an hour, they're pretty much going to have a quote. Very, very simple program, but an easy way to get paid. So you make, as a brand new associate, you make about $50. If you do the auto, and if you do the auto in the home, they're going to throw in a $25 for the home. And there's also renter's insurance, but they won't do renters alone. They'll do renters with the auto insurance. So you can't just call up and say, hey, give me, the renter's insurance. They'll usually do the renters and the auto combined, but a really incredible program that really is going to help a lot of people save money. Okay, moving on. Primerica Legal program. So there's also a brochure for the Primerica Legal program. You can get this again at the company store, $10. You can go online. Really, really useful brochure. I love Primerica Legal Protection Plan. We were the #1 base shop in the state of Maryland all of last year for distributing Primerica Legal. I don't know how that happened, but we were the top base shop. I really love, the fact that, we market a great product. I think Wills is essential. These are like all these products, as I'm talking about here today, they're kind of like door openers. I mean, you can get in the door through utilizing maybe auto and home. Maybe someone says, hey, look, you know what? I need to lower my auto insurance. So you can get in the door and then you can talk about all the other stuff. Primerica Legal is a door opener. You get in through the Primerica Legal, maybe someone needs a will. You talk to them about a will, and then you got access to all the other stuff as well. So let me just kind of talk to you a little bit about, how I market this product. This product is marketed through what we call Primerica Legal, PLPP. So yes, pre-legal is sanctions the program. So Primerica added some of their attributes to it, and as a result, we call it Primerica Legal. So there's some pluses, things that we added to it to really make it very attractive for our clients. So Primerica really connected with legal offices throughout the United States, and there's going to be a legal provider that supports Primerica Legal within your geography. For example, here in Maryland, there's Weinstadt, Freeman and Freeman. They're based out of Baltimore, and really a lot of my clients who've used them, they're very excited about it. I mean, there are no issues, very reputable law firm, been able to really help in a lot of ways. So this is kind of like how I get the ball rolling if I'm talking to someone about, conducting a will. So if someone says, hey, look, can you explain to me really how this process works? What usually takes place? I usually don't just jump right in here and explain this. I usually give some background. And this background it's not documented factual. Of course, you can go do the research and find out yourself, but it's just based on a little bit of research that, I've done and connecting with some, clients and individuals who've had wills conducted. I just know, generally speaking, if someone's going to ask for a will, usually it's going to run them anywhere between $500, okay, to about $1,200, okay? So right away, most people think, hey, I don't have $500, $1,200 to do an actual will. and they want that done as quickly as possible. Some people may say, hey, look, I can go, I can go get it, I can write it myself. Yeah, you can do that. Maybe I can just get something notarized. We're only talking to them about the legal aspect. I don't get into all the other aspects. If you want that, that's your prerogative. However, I could talk to you about the legal aspect. Okay, so $500 to $1,200 to usually draft up a will. Primerica, on the other hand, has Primerica Legal program. In that program, there's a lot of benefits. Okay, here's some of the benefits or the features of the plan. Unlimited consultation, meaning that person can call into a law office and talk about any related legal issue. So this is really a form of legal insurance. Okay. So another feature is they're going to have a will benefit. So that just means they're allowed to do the will. So they're going to do a will preparation and annual updates for covered family members at a $20 per document. So they'll allow you to do a free will and then $20, additional for a family member. But preparation of trust at a 25% discount off of the provider law firm's standard hourly rate. So trusts are obviously done on an hourly rate. They'll do a free living will for you. Okay, durable power of attorney. There's about 11 different benefits in here. Legal shield. So essentially, if I'm beginning the conversation, most people usually want to know. They don't want to know about all the other stuff. They want to know, hey, about the will. So if I'm talking to John and Mary, hey, John and Mary, a will normally runs in the state of Maryland, from what I've heard. Okay, again, from what I've heard, people I've talked to, it's run between $500 to about $1,200. However, Primerica, on the other hand, will allow you to enroll in this process here called Primerica Legal, and essentially the service, the annual service is about $300 plus a $10 enrollment fee for a total of $310. Okay, so we'll allow you to get started to do a will for that amount. Okay, and if you don't have the $310, then we'll allow you to pay $25 per month. Okay, for the service. So it's pretty simplified. 300. Sometimes people say, hey, look, I'd rather just pay the annual. I just want to use it one time, get the annual, and have all the attributes inclusive, as I mentioned, for that year, or pay $25, get the will, and utilize the service, for the year or however long they choose. Just know that if they do continue, using the service, they're going to pay $25. If they got the will and then later on, say in a year later, decided they want to terminate the service, the will is still intact. It's still legal. It's done. It's completed by an attorney. So usually what happens is there's going to be what is called a if I enroll this person, okay, I can enroll them again, $25, okay, or $310, okay. So there's usually a couple of ways to enroll somebody. You can do it electronically, okay. So there's an electronic application, okay, that you're able to take advantage of, or you can do the paper, okay. Doesn't matter which one. So electronic or paper, and basically when you enroll the client, you're going to send it to Primerica Legal, which is based out of Oklahoma, okay. So the pre-legal, they're going to based out of Oklahoma. They work exclusively, through the Primerica process, and they're going to send the client out what is called an enrollment packet. And in the packet, it's going to have a will questionnaire. It's going to have basically a card that they're going to get. So I'll show you a little bit of the card. I personally still pay $25 a month. Been doing it for years. Why? Because, man, it's called family drama. It's called issues. I just feel as though, it works very well. So this is the card that I get on the front and on the back, your name and member number. So this works very hand in hand as far as having this. And I'm able to call in. If something pops up legally, I could call in. I can address any legal matters that may take place. I can have my will updated, on a regular basis. And I really love the process. So The will questionnaire is going to come in an enrollment packet. It's going to give them instructions. It's going to give them that card like I showed you. And right away, they can start filling out the questionnaire. They complete that questionnaire, and they're going to mail it back to the law service at their particular location. So they're here in Maryland. They're going to go that Weinstein, Freeman, and Freeman, mail it back. And they may or may not get a corresponding phone call from the attorney. And, if they have any questions on their will, and then they'll send them out a completed will. Now, in the state of Maryland, you just basically have to have 2 witnesses to attest for your will. So you need 2 witnesses. You sign 2 witnesses. That's considered legal in the state of Maryland. And basically, if they want to enroll it or to file it at their county, it's a $5 filing fee. So they can take it down to Prince George's County, Main Street. They can put it in a sealed envelope for $5, and basically they can name their executor. They can name whomever, and it won't be moved unless they gave permission to. But that's pretty much the process. I love the service for many reasons. I could think of one time I had a ticket that I had acquired in the city of Baltimore. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, couldn't go to court, got tied up at the last minute. I called the law office, and an attorney said, "Hey, don't worry about it. I'll go to court for you." He called me back 2 hours later and said, "Hey, good news. Your ticket was thrown out. Pretty much you got a clean driving record. Hey, good luck." And I was like, wow. I was like, these guys are really good. So if you had any probate benefits or any IRS audit legal issues, I mean, you can use it for a plethora of reasons, but the Primerica legal plan is really, really essential, really affordable for your client. It's a great way to have legal insurance. It's an incredible way for them to get a will. So I really simplify it, as I mentioned before, and I believe you make $60 as a brand new associate, the pay, and I think as a district leader you make $75. So think of it this way: you start doing the math. You start, making $200-300 in or $300-400 in life insurance, and you start layering in $60 here and another, $50 over there in the auto. Your compensation really begins to grow, and that's what you want. You want to basically you want to get paid. You want to make money. So you got to take advantage of these services that are available, and your clients want them. I promise you, Primerica's not going to put anything in place that's not good for our client. They've done impeccable research. They know our products very well, and you should get to know them as well. Last thing I want to talk about a little bit is a process called Debt Watchers. We partner with Equifax on Debt Watchers. So, of course, people say, well, why did you use Equifax? There's 3 credit bureaus. There's Equifax, there's Experian, and TransUnion. Well, Equifax is used probably 90+% of the time, so they're the most widely used credit bureau. So that's why we're working with Equifax. And pretty much what it does is it has numerous features to really help your client to really resolve debt issues. It's a debt program, Debt Watchers program, which is basically utilized as a tool. So I just want to be clear, it's a tool. It's not debt consolidation. They're not going to take over your bills. They're not going to pay off your bills. It's basically a tool that's used to help you with some debt issues. Now, it's a really good tool. So just some features that really kind of stick out. Number one, it has what is called a fast pay wizard. Okay, so which kind of works like debt snowballing. So if you know anything about debt snowballing, it's going to line up all your debt. So let's just say you had, your auto, loan. Let's just say you had student loans. Let's say you had Visa, MasterCard. You had another, your mortgage in there. So you're going to line up all your debts. Basically, that's what debt stacking does. And it's going to show you how to expeditiously pay them off. So you make a payment here, this one gets paid off, you move that money that you were paying down, you pay that new amount, then you pay that one off, you move it down, and you keep moving it down. So what ends up happening is you're picking up snowball. So if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey's debt snowball, It really has an added incredible feature in there to really kind of help you as far as paying off your debts. It gives you an option to, it gives you an opportunity to have 4 credit reports, okay, where you can check your credit score, okay, 4 times a year, 1 a quarter, okay, and it basically is going to allow you to really, have identity theft, protection. So you have identity theft protection in there. So it's a very, very unique program. This is the brochure that basically you can get online. Again, you go to a Primerica store and you can basically enroll. So it has some unique features. The fast pay plan. It has an accountability plan. It has a credit alert. If somebody is running your credit, you can check that. And it just has a lot of unique features. I'm not going to go through each and everything. But Debt Watchers is nothing contractual. So a client can basically enroll in this for as little as $14.95 a month. So basically they're allowing a client to get in the plan. Let's just say they decided a month later they don't want to have the plan anymore, then they can stop it. It's really that simple. Now they do have to enroll online. So on the back it talks about how they can go to myprimerica.com to register. You have to actually register them online. They will need your solution number to register. And essentially, there's an activated button on there. And basically, it's just a wonderful tool that's going to help a client pay off debt. Now, I know banks and some other institutions have kind of like, credit entities that are in place. But they're really credit entities that kind of check people's credit. They allow them access to the credit score. But I have found none to do what Debt Watchers does as far as debt snowballing. I mean, to be able to say, hey, I can put all my bills in, and it's going to show me exactly which bills I should be paying first and pay the minimum balances on everything else, it's just a wonderful tool. So I really stand by it. It's really solid. Now, let me just talk a little bit about pay, because this program used to be where a client used to have to pay $50 enrollment fee, okay? So the client would have paid $50 enrollment fee plus the $14.95, okay? And the agent would make immediately $50, okay? So that was pretty exciting for a lot of agents, And I'm just telling you the facts of what happened. People began to abuse this. So you can imagine, because this product does not have a chargeback. So essentially you could put this in place. They can cancel the plan at any time. So the companies start to realize that, hey, look, we're losing money because we're allowing people to pay the $50, right? We're giving the agent $50 right away. But if the person cancels this plan in 2 months or a month later, there really was, there's no compensation for the company. They were really losing money. Client puts up $50, the agent gets paid right away, then they cancel the plan. So here's what they did. They basically said, hey, look, we're going to take away this thing right here. We're going to take away that $50 upfront fee, and we're going to take away the $50 that we're going to pay the agent right away. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow the client to pay $14.95, and we're going to take this $50 and we're going to basically divide it by 12 months in a year. So what that means is this. We're going to pay the agent roughly $4 and some change every month. So if a client stays on the books, we're going to pay them $4 per month so they can stay on the books. So 4 times 12 is 48. 4 times, some change, that's how you get your $50. And as a result of that, you may be thinking, wow, $4 for helping one family? Well, what if you had 100 families? There you go. I mean, that's $400. I mean, so what if you had 200 families? So there's a lot of money here in this plan. So the important thing is really just to enroll people, allow them to really try it out. It's a very nominal fee of $14.95, and I feel as though they'll really be able to benefit from this significantly. So just to kind of recap, I know we've talked about some different plans: auto and home, pre-legal. We talked about Debt Watchers. These are plans that, hey, you get really good at understanding them. So I usually treat them as by the way products, meaning I'm at the table, I'm helping a family. I know our prime products I talked about earlier is we're going to recruit. Okay. Secondly, we're going to put a plan in place for the family. So we're going to, certainly add, life insurance. We use 90% of the time. We're going to help them invest. We use that 90+% of the time as well. And so we know by putting these things in place, these products are going to follow the process. So we're going to build a strong financial house. We talk about utilizing a financial house in the F&A. So we know that if we drew a house out and we built a house, we know the foundation, right? That has to do with life insurance. We know that we talk about a will, okay? We talk about getting debt free. And then we talk about savings. So these products really fit really uniquely into the financial house. You're really putting a service in place. You're adding value for your clients. So it's very, very important that you understand how these work. I've really kind of given you a demo today in terms of how to utilize these. And I know what's exciting is that when new people start making money and I get a check in my name, I'm pretty daggone excited. I'm pretty jacked up about what Primerica offers. And I know that if I can help some people here with some simplistic services, then I can really graduate, move on to the bigger and better things. So thank you for your attention today. I want you to take advantage, of this. Hey, reflect back on this, take notes, and you know how to implement some of these things. And so, hey, let's go win big. God bless you. Have a great night.